Hey guys, this is Indy. In this video I commentate two games. The first is WMP vs DK Mage Healer, and the second is PHP vs WMD. I'm kinda sick at the moment, so forgive me in my voice, but please subscribe and comment and like if you enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Alright, later. So we start off by running over to the left pillar. We decide to all kind of stack up pretty close because if the mage opens with a poly on me, the frozen orb in his burst will break the poly. So the DK from their team runs over and wants to get the initiation on us. That was actually pretty bad on his part because we forced AMS pretty damn early. Now, I'm going to get feared by the Siphon right here, and the DK overlaps with an Asphyxiate, which is great for me because I can just sit this because the mage is totally going to be okay. Out of this, I actually trinket a really short deep that was bad on my part, and I Aura Mastery. I throw Sack on the mage, which breaks this polymorph right here, and I go over to Hodge the Priest. I throw a Freedom on the warrior so he doesn't get stunned by the DK, and dispel his poly. He gets repolyed, however. We still have some really good pressure going on this DK right here, and we're about to get the kill, but the priest, life swaps. So now I'm just sitting minor CC. I decide to sit it and not bubble because my mage is okay. Over here I get really nervous and tell him to block. However, my warrior puts vigilance on him, so he was able to hold block for 2 extra seconds before he had to use it. The block gets mass dispelled and I get full feared. Right now we're just doing amazing damage to the enemy Frost Mage, so I decide to just sit this fear because there's no imminent threat. I'm just kind of running over, throwing heals. Not much is going on right now besides massive pressure on the enemy Frost Mage because he's running out of cooldowns. I run over and decide to try and fear the priest. He gets out of a polymorph, I bubble, and throw a Turn Evil on the priest. And because of that fear, we're able to get another ice block. Now over here, I run over and get a half blind on the priest, which is really good because he really had nowhere else to go. We get the DK down to about 40%, and the mage is at about 35%. So now the priest is kind of panicking and trying to heal both of them up and can't decide which one we're on. We get on the mage, we get him really low. I'm trying to dispel my DPS, keep them offensive, and he gets feared on the inner focus, and that just ends up getting the kill on the mage. Now this is when we're running PHP. Now we're running double pally, so there is a couple of DRs, but it does have a lot of CC. Now in this first 30 seconds of the fight, I'm kind of running around because I don't want to be in the open or anywhere where the mage can actually throw a Nova on me and then open on me, because a mage and a warrior can hit me pretty damn hard. Now over here I decided to take a second to whisper my friend because I see the mage comes out of invis, so I know that he's not going to be over here to Nova me. Now the red guns goes in and gets charged by the warrior, and now the warrior and mage are starting to open up with some minor damage on him. They throw a living bomb and whatever. I rebuff kings, but the mage spell steals it again. At this point I decide I'm not just going to spend the whole time rebuffing, I have to actually heal. I did use a freedom earlier on my ret, however it was pretty wasted because we ended up overlapping. He runs around and I come in to try and get a CC on the druid. I get a full fear on the druid right here. He actually ends up trinketing that, which is good because now he's going to be open for a lot more CC. Now I put my focus on the mage. I'm trying to watch for palm polys or anything. He throws a deep on me and we actually get him to block right here because of our pressure. I'm keeping my team offensive. I'm not having too much of an issue. Now he polys my hunter. I run over and dispel it so we can keep some awesome pressure going. Right now the warrior's trying to peel. We actually started touching the warrior for a little bit, but we switched back to the mage because we can't have the mage casting. Now I'm running up. I'm trying to stick with my team. They throw a Cyclone on the hunter to stop some damage. I run over and Hodge the druid and actually get a full fear on him again. Now I throw a freedom on my ret, which was another mistake because he could have done the same thing. And we're actually getting some pressure on both the hunter, mage rather, and the warrior. We get the mage to about 17%. He actually blocks again. So now the mage doesn't have any more blocks, no cold snap, and the warrior is still sitting rather low, and the druid does not have a trinket, so we can line up a really good kill coming real soon. We have the upper hand because I still have bubble and trinket, so I'm actually playing rather reckless at this point because I'm not concerned about CC because I have a bubble and trinket on them and the druid doesn't even have a trinket. My ret pops a 20% bark skin to stop some of the damage, a little mitigation, and I'm up in their face just healing. I don't have any concerns right here. I'm giving no shits. I try to get another Turn Evil. I actually get interrupting shouted by the warrior on it, and my hunter gets cycloned. So the ret takes a little bit of damage here, but I wasn't too concerned, so I didn't tell him he had a bubble. I was able to get him up pretty easily. I've been using my Hand of Sacrifice sporadically throughout the whole match because I didn't have any concerns about polymorphs because of us going on the mage. I actually trinketed a Cyclone right there because they actually got my ret pretty low, but I didn't want him to bubble. The warrior actually eats the trap, and I see that the druid's casting Cyclone, so I run over and Hodge it and throw a Full Fear on him. Now the Full Fear gets broken, and he starts healing his mage again. There was a potential for a kill there, however we kind of messed it up. I get feared by the warrior, and I decide to sit this because I see a frozen orb, so I figure it'll break. I call for my hunter to det so it can help me out on healing a little bit. And now the mage is just getting tunneled really hard. The warrior is actually switching to me here, and so is the mage, but I actually run line of sight of the mage over here, and I'm able to live to the warrior because I still had bubble. So I just bubbled, ran right behind the pillar. Warrior couldn't shatter it, had no more peels for the mage, and that was pretty much just the end of the fight right there.